just tell you an incident. When the trial started happening, the first day of the trial, when Gurubakshi, as Namita said, there were 3 officers put on trial, a Sikh, a Hindu and a Muslim. So Gurubakshi and Dhillon was a Sikh, Prem Sehgal, जो वो शाद अली के नाना है, Prem Sehgal and Shahnawaz Khan, a Muslim. So they were taking the trials happened in the Red Fort, the Salimgarh Fort. Within the Red Fort, there's a POW camp was made, and they were taking inside the truck. So Gorkha soldiers were escorting them along with some British officers. The British officer pushed Dhillon. Jaldi chalo karke. He put Dhillon, turned and slapped him. A brief scuffle happened between them. But no Gorkha soldier came up to save the British officer. And then Jawaharlal Nehru, because Jawaharlal Nehru was part of the defense committee who was fighting the case for the INA, he came up and said, this is the first sign of independence. Today we saw. Because a British officer was, slapped, and none of the Gurkha soldiers kind of came to help, and the trial happened. That was the beginning of the trial. So actually, INA sahi hua jo kuch hua.
Well, it's about time that people knew this history.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but these are the incredible ifs and buts of history. Absolutely. Now we don't know what would have happened in Britain if the Tories were in power. Churchill was Prime Minister and not Attlee had been the Prime Minister. Again, we can only guess.
We can only guess, and that is why writing fiction is the best thing possible.
And on that note...
and it's not just, it's also safe. Very safe.
And on that note, is there anyone who has 1 or 2 quick questions to ask the authors, the panelists, or would everyone like to now head towards the bar? Poonam, Maria?
The bar. Maria will ask me, have the kids gone to sleep?
No, what I want to ask both of you is, yes, this took 2 years to write, and it was about something that was really close to your heart, a story that you said needed to be told at this point of time. As 2 individuals, was there ever a point when you were writing that you thought that the story had to go a different way, or were you always, on agreement with everything?
Well, actually,
and who won the rounds most of the time?
So what we did when we first started writing was we actually wrote out a screenplay. Before the book, there was a screenplay. Because when the idea came up, we had thought that it would make a great film. So it started with a screenplay. So already there was a structure in place. And as we went along, one of the things I think on which we stumbled was we had researched, but we had thought most of the stuff had happened in Burma. And so we had set a large part of the story, the entire middle, in Burma. And we researched Burma, and we the nightclubs, everything. And then we discovered that no, they were actually in Singapore. So everything has, so that took us back a little bit. Arguments, no. I mean, I think if you're not perhaps even seeing the same thing, it's, I think, true of any collaboration that you discuss it, and the person who's making more sense in the context of what you're trying to do at that point of time, and for the story. I think the whole point about collaboration is you give up your egos for the final baby, So what was good for the story, what would work for the story, what needed to be told, how it needed to be structured, what characters to drop, what characters to introduce, the rhythm of the story, where to hold back. So yeah, so we discussed a lot, and if there were areas of disagreement, we talked it out and then sorted it out.
I want to ask a question, which is that the mechanics of writing, I can understand both of you developing a plot together, but who actually writes? You know, how can two people share writing? I don't understand. Because there's a uniformity of style.
No, so
It's not as
did-
if there are two different styles at
Yeah.
once.
No, so we had to, I mean, there were many drafts made. Sanjay worked on certain sections of it, I worked on certain sections of it, and we worked out the drafts, and then, like I said, we had the screenplay in place. But you know, at the end of it, one person has to write because there is stylistic, language, all that. So yeah, one person did it.
I think also what happened is that since we known each other for so long and we worked on this for so long, that those styles actually merged. And what happened was that there were parts where I thought that I have done a lot of research and I've been influenced by military history and battles all the time, so let me write this scene, this battle scene. And then she would come in and say, no, but it's not making sense like this, I think we should do this. And then we would incorporate that or the other way around. So we would keep coming back and cross-referencing and going back to the same thing again and again, till, strangely enough, a style of its own emerged, which is, you know, like, I think the best part of both our styles.
Who wrote that scene which was read about the kiss?
That was me. Yeah, so that was me. But the one about the Gurkhas was Sanjay. About the kiss was yes, kiss was mine. Yes.
Poonam.
Okay. Hi. Being a writer myself, I believe that a writer has to be first true to themselves. Okay, you write, I believe that you write first for yourself, and then if it goes out to a larger audience, that's brilliant. I also believe that we often tend to romanticize the past. And by the past, I mean history. So my question to you is, how much of the fact did you keep as fact? How much of it did you actually fictionalize so that it went under the genre of historical fiction?
There was no actual effort made to achieve any of those ends there. But fiction writers are not really duty bound to report, in the sense that you could actually stick to facts all the time, but then your narrative would read like a lecture on history. And then what would happen is that you would completely leach all vigor out of your story. You know, you make it sound so boring and tepid and probably not engaging or exciting. On the other hand, you can't also be fast and loose with your facts, simply because there are real people involved, there are real incidents that took place. So you've got to strive a balance. That's the most exciting thing about historical fiction, that you find that balance and you find those holes and you spin a yarn through them.
Yeah, and
How much creative license do you take in something like this?
So I think the broad strokes of history, what happened, the fact that
हाँ ले ना इधर कोने रे ऊपर सबका बदला लेगा रे हर्षद सर ए रहीम रहीम रीड मार जाओ ना ये क्रेशर ये पार्टी रे वाल्या
अरे तुम्ही ले रे बाबा
हाँ तुम्ही ले रे बाबा
पार्टी ले क्या करूँ
अरे भला मोरी रामा भला तारी रामा भला मोरी रामा भला तारी रामा बाय बाय Tadang, tadang. ले गोविंद exclusive. Sir, you're right.
Occasions for people to think about these things and talk about them. I think that's what's the most important thing.
And also, the book is also going to be a motion picture. That's what you mentioned. So when is that you planning?
So it's something that is in the pipeline. We can't really talk about it, but yes, we definitely want to make a film out of it.
And coming soon to a
And
theatre.
coming soon, yes. But it's a historical film, so it's quite.
Yes.
The scale is very big, and so therefore it requires a lot of support.
Also, we want to make sure, as we have with the book, that we don't want to do any kind of disservice to anybody. We want to make sure that we get the facts right, and then we say our story or we make our story around that.
Do you have any celebrities, any actor, actress in your mind for the film? Like,
Well,
do you have somebody
wish list. I would like to have Dev Patel as Nishanko, because I think he has the intensity and I think the idealism that Nishanko stands for. Aditi is. Can you see Aditi?
But not as yet. I think it's a little early. I think Dave very easily fits that part. The others would require a little bit of us to.
Nishanko.
Nishanko.
fits.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's. I think there's so much talent out there, and so much. Because these are all actually, when you look back at it, the story is about very young people. It's about an 18-year-old girl. It's about a 21-year-old boy who's been thrown into battle, into this reality of having to fight a war, and there is a slightly older 24-year-old. So they're very young people. It's not an old people's tale, and it's about young people taking their beliefs and going out there. So yeah, there's a big wish list, and would love to, yeah.
And there's also the thing that very often, because the story is big and the events that happened were so big, that very often we forget how young those people must have been who took part in those events. So naturally, it's got to be about the sensibilities and the spirit of youth. So that's very important to retain it.
Yeah.
And not like an old man's tale or somebody who's so that is very important, and that has to be captured right.
thank you. This is the first edition of the book which is coming up.
That's right.
What are your expectations from the book and your target market?
Well, our target market is almost everybody, simply because it is for all those people who are interested in historical fiction, and there are lots of people like that. But at the same time, we haven't written it so that it can become overbearing or tedious. So it is in fact for all those who love basically a good yarn, those who love a good story, those who love characters and everything that happens to them, people who believe in love, and people who understand that there is a dark side to love, which is betrayal, and people who basically read thrillers, and I think of all age groups.
Probably must become a bestseller in coming days.
Whoa.
Inshallah.
And probably somebody has probably already asked you about the scene which has been depicted on the book cover. So how did you zero upon that picture?
Concept is love in the time of war, isn't it? And it's stolen moments. When you read the book, the way all their lives are on the brink. Anything can happen. They don't know what they're going into. They don't know what their lives will be, even a month from now. So we've tried to capture the fragility of what they had in the midst of war, and a moment of that peace and that calm, which they try to. And you really don't know, because it's about a love story. it's about a triangle. So who's this? And so it was like keeping it a little open.
It's almost like you are spying on two people. It's almost like you've parted the bushes and you see this scene happening. It's like that.
Two people.
Aditi, and we won't say who the other one is.
Yeah. And before we take leave and we congratulate you, we just want to know who will be directing the film, like if it will happen.
Well, I'm a director,
Yeah, no.
so I would love to direct. And so let's see in the future what happens.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
This book to become a next big bestseller in the coming months.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
सबसे बाइक हो गई ना? हाँ। बोलो यार मुझे सबसे पहले जानना चाहिए कि राम आपकी कैसा रहा आज का एक्सपीरियंस?
बहुत बढ़िया. मुझे एक्चुअली बुक पढ़ने का बहुत इच्छा हो रही है क्योंकि I was a student of history and this is such an interesting premise, a fiction set in a historical time, and also Namita and Sanjay, I think their collaboration as writers and as two intellectual minds will be quite exciting actually. I'm quite looking forward to this work of fiction.
और अगर बात करें हमने आपकी जो पिछली जो फिल्म देखी थोड़ा सा यहाँ पर किरदार था लेकिन बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग किरदार था, तो आप आने वाले दिनों में हम क्या कुछ देखेंगे आप?
अभी आ रही है जग्गा अप्रैल में, और टिस्का और मैंने एक ब्रिटिश फिल्म किया साथ में, द हंग्री बोल के, जिसमें टिस्का है, नसीरुद्दीन शाह है, नीरज काबी है, सूरज शर्मा है, मैं हूँ, तो बहुत ही मज़ा आया हमें. सो या आई थिंक दैट्स ऑल्सो कमिंग आउट दिस ईयर. और कुछ है जो आ रही है, देखेंगे आप लोग. पर अभी नेक्स्ट है जगह शायोनी. हाय. I think it's always nice to see, to hear excerpts from a book, because when you're reading it, you're imagining it, but when you hear the writers sort of read them out, or the panelists read them out, and they have obviously chosen the excerpts keeping something in mind, because you can't really read out the whole book. So that was that. It always fascinates me. I actually came a little late, so I wasn't there throughout. But whatever part of their conversation and the panel discussion I was hearing, again, during INA, during Subhash Bose's time, this whole, what would a love story set in that time be like? And so that was really exquisite, when you start imagining those things. And the highlight was really listening to these people and the writers, both Namita and Sanjay, sort of talk about their experience and collaborating to write, because it's very difficult to write together, and how that process sort of worked out for them. That was really interesting for me. Yeah. Me? Yeah. Ranveer. Ranveer. Yeah, he's my favorite. है ना? हो गई ना कास्टिंग? चलो, कल छपवा दो. हाँ, बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल. Costumes, Shrija कर सकती है. Tiska is actually very good with styling. She can style the film. No. We're going to go to the northeast and go to the eastern part of Bengal, India, and shoot. Studio any. Viacom or UTV, or UTV is no more, na? Disney. Yeah, Disney. Chalega. Hopefully. Could be.
Happy to see the Academy Awards this time.
I didn't see it, but I saw excerpts and I saw, those clips that keep coming and whatever has happened, and I see what everyone was wearing, and I like to see photos from there. And yeah, I did see some excerpts and some interviews, which were quite cool actually.
And you saw the stuff which happened.
Yeah.
What's your objective take on that?
Yeah, these things keep happening. I mean, it's funny when it happens at that forum, and and the whole world watches it. It's sad because I feel the moonlight should have been in the limelight at that point, and it sort of took away from their moment. But having said that, I think everyone was very gracious about it. Everyone was like quite a sport. And it's actually quite funny, everyone's talking about it. It's given us something to talk about, something fun. So it's fine, I guess, these things keep happening. इंडिया में तो सबको दे देते हैं अवार्ड ना किसी को नहीं छोड़ते so हाँ एग्जैक्टली तो मुझे तो मैंने ऐसा ही सुना है जो जाता है उनको दे देते हैं मैं तो जाती नहीं हूँ मुझे नहीं पता हाँ नहीं मैं नहीं बोलना चाहूँगी क्योंकि सब लोग इतना कुछ बोल रहे हैं मुझे कुछ नहीं बोलना है वो एक्चुअली मेरे कॉलेज से है LSR से और आज ही जो इंग्लिश डिपार्टमेंट है LSR से they have come out with their comment and I think enough has been said. आजकल ये सोशल मीडिया में ना सब कुछ बनने से पहले खिचड़ी बन जाता है so I think the lesser we speak about it the better honestly.
कुछ मतलब how do you take this thing मतलब कैसे क्या नहीं बोलना चाहिए तो कैसे बोलना चाहिए और
नहीं बिल्कुल बोलना चाहिए but now these days everyone has an opinion right and other people have an opinion about your opinion so it's just too much I feel and it's a part of it's part of the time we live in and but I don't want to comment anything because it's just going to keep getting you are going to make something out of it. Oh, Shayoni has said this and I don't want that at all. So I have nothing to say, just that whatever is happening we'll see, we are getting to see and yeah, just log on to your Twitter and you will see enough. बिल्कुल भी नहीं threat but the thing with trolls and threats and all of that is it's completely unnecessary. It's in very bad I mean it's really wrong yeah apart from that I don't think like everyone should feel safe and everyone has the right to express their opinion and that shouldn't be tampered with I feel you have the right to speak your mind and so does he and so does every single person who lives in this country and it's part of our fundamental right freedom to express so that shouldn't be tampered with and everyone should have the right to freely express themselves and that's all I think that we should really be concerned about. Thank you.